Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time. And as always, thank you to our fellow Venator of Terrains, Lux, Charlie, and John. And also, we've got some new Patreon to thank, including one that we kind of forgot. It was a few months ago. I'm sorry, Kelly. Thank you very much for the support on Patreon. The season episodes were busy and
we got real busy.
Yeah, we got really busy. It was weird. And also thank you to Randy, who recently supported us. Thank you very much. It's always appreciated.
Yes. Very much.
Okay. What do we talk about today?
Today we are talking about the always fun and wonderful JordanCon. Because 3 of the 4 of us were there a few weekends ago that we missed Kat.
Yeah.
We did miss Kat.
So I want to hear all the good stuff.
Yeah, we missed you.
I missed you guys too. It was sad. I mean, I had a very good weekend otherwise. It was nice. But I did miss being with the rest of y'all.
It's easy to get FOMO.
Yeah. I tried to stay off social media because that always, that increases the FOMO feeling.
Yeah.
And so, I just tried to stay off social media. But I missed seeing people. There are lots of people I wanted to give consensual hugs to.
Did I send you the picture we took of the 3 of us, or did I forget?
No.
I'm going to have to send it.
We took a picture of the 3 of us?
There was a picture of the 3 of us.
James was like, that is news to me.
I took a picture because my mom was like, so did you find your friends? And I was like, yes, Mom. And it was at the time when I was talking with James and Matt, so I took a picture with James and Matt.
Oh, I vaguely remember this.
Yeah.
Was I sitting down?
Maybe.
Yeah, we were sitting, I think it was like Friday morning or something like that.
That's funny.
Okay.
For our listeners, James is the track director, so they were like all over the place busy. And I had a cold, so I was like high on Claritin and Delsym and Benadryl and all sorts of shit. Just so
What
I
the
could.
fuck is Delsym?
You took all of that?
Delsym is like a anti-cough syrup. It's a cough suppressant.
Oh, okay.
You took Benadryl and Claritin?
I took Benadryl at night.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was gonna say Benadryl knocks you the fuck out.
Oh yeah, no.
The only reason you don't experience allergies is because you're not conscious to experience them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can't have allergies if you're not conscious.
Absolutely.
I will say, my allergies this year, it was literally the second the plane landed.
Oh.
It wasn't even cute. It was like the second the plane landed, I was like, something's wrong in my nose.
Yeah. Apparently allergy season is supposed to be just terrible this year, so that's something else to look forward to in this hellscape. Anyway,
we picked up the rental car and then we went straight to not Fred Meyer. It's not called Fred Meyer down there. It's called Kroger. We went to Kroger and got Zyrtec, and I took like 3 Zyrtec every day.
Yeah.
No jokes.
Yeah, I am constantly taking allergy medication because it's, as you said, it's not cute.
No.
That's not it.
No, it is not fun.
I don't have allergies.
Well,
get fucked.
Great for you, Camille. Great for you, Camille. We're so happy for you.
Aren't you special?
Yeah, I was just taking stuff for jet lag because that's what I had.
Oh,
but it was fine.
Well, that's fair. That's also unpleasant.
What do you take for jet lag?
Melatonin.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I take Dramamine when I get on planes lasting longer than a few hours. I'm not conscious for all that shit.
You're very much about the medications that's just it's not so much working on the symptoms, it's more just you're out. It knocks you the fuck out.
Knocking you out.
Yes.
I can't do that. I hate the feeling of you wake up and you just don't know who you are anymore.
You're so disoriented.
No, listen. In 2007, when I flew from Frankfurt back to New Orleans after a trip to France and Italy, we stayed up all night the night before, and we stayed a night in Paris. I stayed awake the entire night made like the whatever hour flight from Paris to Frankfurt, got on the flight to Frankfurt to New Orleans, and took 3 Dramamine.
That's so much, Matt. How did you walk off the plane?
I closed my eyes.
Yeah.
My mom poked me to eat at some point, and then I closed my eyes again, and then we were in the United States. That's how I travel.
That's one way to do it. That's one way to do it.
Live your best life.
Yeah, truly.
Unconscious.
Live my best life unconsciously.
Yeah. That's a very cute picture, by the way. That's a very cute picture. You know what? I feel like I could maybe there's enough space between Camille and Matt where I could Photoshop myself in.
I mean,
I could just take a picture of myself sitting down.
If you got some good Photoshop skill, go ahead and Photoshop yourself there.
I used to.
I do not have the skills, so.
I used to, but
Photoshop your just your head in the sky, like one of those 80s glam shot photos.
You're gonna be that.
I was thinking the baby from Teletubbies.
I was thinking Teletubbies. The son from Teletubbies.
God.
I love that we all thought about it.
Oh my god.
For once, there's a reference that I also have.
There you go. Look at that.
Teletubbies was nightmare fuel.
Yes. Yes.
My little sister, the one that is 3.5 years younger than me, it was picker time. So she was eating that every day, and I could not stand that anymore.
Yeah. But kids that age, the things that they like it's unhinged. Kids that age are generally speaking unhinged. So, it makes sense. It tracks.
And they get obsessed.
Yes.
It has to be that thing for weeks and weeks, and it's only that thing.
Yeah. My nephew is he's very into the song Frere Jacques.
Oh Lord.
Frere Jacques,
yes.
Frere
and he
Jacques.
wants you, but it's he wants you sorry, I pronounced it terribly. He wants you to participate in it. And so he wants you to fall asleep when he's singing Frere Jacques. And then when it gets to the part where it says ding, dang, dong, he sings it really loudly, and that's when he wants you to wake up. Mm-hmm. So we did we had a video call with him and his mom and his dad and everything, and that's what he was singing. And we fell asleep, and then we woke up, and he wants to do it all the time.
And then you sing again.
Yeah,
man,
all the time.
Kids are high maintenance.
Constantly. Adorable. They kind of have to be.
Yeah.
I feel like people wouldn't put up with the shenanigans if they weren't so cute. Is that bad to say?
You wouldn't put up with an ugly kid.
I did not say that. Not said that.
I mean, I've seen some ugly kids, and people were still apparently dealing with them, so...
Well, I guess...
Well, yeah, out of pity.
Yeah. In their parents' eyes, I guess, rose-colored glasses. Anyway.
So JordanCon.
So JordanCon.
I kind of want to say that, I was a bit stressed out about going to JordanCon because, there's always a lot of traveling, and it's a bit... And it was kind of a last-minute thing for me. But also, with Swan basically dying a week before, I was kind of anxious.
Yeah.
It was better than I thought it would be.
Good.
I spent my best JordanCon this year.
Aww.
Mm-hmm. It was a good JordanCon.
That's good.
It was also my JordanCon where I spent the least time possible in the Wheel of Time track. So I don't know what that means.
Well, there you go. I was curious about that. It's did it feel maybe this is a bad question to start off with. Did it feel like the energy at JordanCon for the Wheel of Time section was different this year?
No, not to me.
That's good.
Well, a little bit. I don't think anyone that I talked to really loved the decision.
Sure.
But I don't think people were tense about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I was.
I found that a lot of people, both in the I hated Swan's death and Swan's death didn't bother me camp, were very reasonable at JordanCon in person.
Yeah.
The people who I disagreed with, the people who were fine with her death, they listened to me and they listened to why I thought it was not a great choice. Mm-hmm. And they didn't talk me down, the people that I talked to at least, but I like to think I have good taste in people. But yeah, no, it was I think most people were just sort of sick of the discourse at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's because, like, I mean, being online is such like you really are in a bubble where it feels like that's the energy everywhere. And so I'm really glad that you guys were able to have like a good experience and just sort of hang out with people and talk on panels. And, you know, it seems like everyone had a good time.
Yeah. And I mean, most social media in any way, it's not a place where you can have any sort of discussion. Like Twitter, Blue Sky, you're not going to have a discussion there. Discord, you can have like a deep conversation with someone on Discord. But yeah, I mean, there was a few awkward thing at first. Like I have like one person maybe were like, "Hey, so did you like that last episode? Ha ha ha!" And I was like, "Let's not talk about that. Ha ha ha." But also, like on my side, it's also JordanCon falling right after the end of a season kind of felt weird in the sense that the end of the season for me is usually the time where I stop thinking about the Wheel of Time TV show for at least a little bit. So I was like already kind of burning out from the show and then going to a place where it was going to be talking a lot about the show. So I was a bit, that's part of also why I was anxious. And it's kind of pushed me to discover other things at JordanCon. And turns out the other tracks are also very good. Like I've done, I did a few panels from the Wheel of Time track, but I also went to, like there was a Gideon the Ninth panel on the sci-fi track that I went to, which was really nice. There was some very good panel on the writer's track. Like I'm not a writer, so I didn't think it would be interesting, but there was a lot of like, it was nice because a lot of the other panel outside of the Wheel of Time are like, the people talking at the panels tends to be like artists or authors that also have a stand at JordanCon. And when you're in the Wheel of Time track, you kind of never get an opportunity to discover who they are and like distinguish between one author from another. And since I went to other panels, you get to see some of those authors speak about various things and then also a little bit about their books. And that was nice because it made me realize that there was a few authors that I wanted to read about, and I left JordanCon with books that I was not supposed to buy.
Yeah, I saw your pictures.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So, like, I mean, I went to JordanCon the year before, the first time. Hopefully not the last time. But one of my favorite experiences at JordanCon was, I think it was the last day, Matt, where you and I went through the artist, we went through the artist alley.
The vendor hall.
Yeah. And it was so cool because you get to see people like showing their sort of like the creativity and like their passions basically. And it's so nice to see. And it's something that's still like nerdy to its core, which I very much appreciate, but it's not like based on a specific fandom necessarily, or it could be, but it's you know, it's not necessarily,
it's very fantasy sci-fi related in a sense. I like one stand that I got something from, it was this woman who was making D&D theme tea, and I got like a barbarian rage one.
That's so cool.
And yeah, it's good. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
If I go back and the stand is still there, I may buy more tea.
I don't blame you. I mean, so that sounds familiar. I think that I probably passed a stand like that, and I had to restrain myself because there were so many. I just remember walking through like all the stalls and being like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, like all through, and I had to restrain myself because
So our listeners will not be able to see this, but I got D&D D20 die.
Oh, nice.
Dice.
They are huge.
They are big.
They are pretty big. And I also got a Vaporeon set, like just a set of standard dice. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have started playing a Pokemon D&D campaign.
Excellent. Excellent.
And
that's so cool.
A fairy trainer.
You always need dice. I got a lot of D6. I got the JordanCon D6 and some other people D6 because I'm playing Blades in the Dark and it's a D6 based system.
I'm jealous. We'll have to talk about that. I've been wanting to play Blades in the Dark for ages.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's on my list of systems to try out. So
it's a cool one. It's a very easy one in the sense that you don't need a lot of prep as a game master.
right.
So there's not like the struggle of D&D. D&D, it's so much prep. And when you have a full-time adult life, you have a work, this kind of thing, you don't have the time for that.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Most of the time for Blade in the Dark, we show up like to a friend and we decide at the beginning what type of heist we want to do today, and we do it. And it takes like an hour and a half, and then after that we just talk.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And it's fun.
That sounds great.
I love, like, that's part of what I love about JordanCon is the community and like meeting people. Like, Twitter of Time was a great place to like start my experience with the fandom. I don't go to that bad place anymore, but Blue Sky is great. But you can't beat like the in-person, just meeting people, like going to the vendors hall, seeing the stuff that people have created there in person. It's just, there's so much community about JordanCon that I love. Every year I go, I'm like, well, maybe this will be my last JordanCon for a year or so, just because of the money. And then I end up having so much fun and like seeing people I never get to see otherwise. It's just so much fun, and I'm probably going to go back next year too.
Yeah, listen. If we'll have to see. If I'm not, my biggest concern is not being able to get back into my country when I come back.
Yes.
Just that.
You know, just that little old concern.
Yeah.
So, if that changes, then yeah.
I try not to buy too much in the way of like tchotchkes anymore, just because I have too much shit. So I like to like just go to the charity auction, which is kind of like in the front section of the dealer's hall and vendor hall. And this year I was trying to get one of the Robert Jordan book plates, and I got one. So I'm very excited about that.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh.
Very nice. That's awesome.
So now I feel like a real Wheel of Time fan because I have a Robert Jordan signature.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you are a real. That's it. You finally made it.
I finally made it.
Yeah. After all these years.
You finally made it.
Finally made it.
Aww.
And then in the staff auction, so one of the like nice benefits of being staff is that you get entered into like a staff auction, not auction. What is the word I'm looking for? A raffle. And there was a horn from Robert Jordan's estate that he collected like some horns just like to model the Horn of the Lear off of. And I won one of those, so that was really
awesome.
cool.
That's very cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
What?
I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and I also just don't have an excuse, but like all the horns, he had a very horny collection, you might say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Sorry.
Yes, he did.
Don't put me down like a dog behind the shed.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
It's not the worst one you've ever done, Matt. It's
No,
fine.
it's true.
This was okay.
It was mild.
Yeah.
My mind can be trash, but when I'm tired, it's milder trash.
There you go.
There was a signed 308 script, but it wasn't signed by why am I blanking? I'm blanking because I just woke up from a
Pike?
nap.
Rosamund Pike?
No.
Sophia Canedo?
Sofia Canedo.
Yeah. That's...
If it was signed by Sofia Canedo, I probably would have like bid on it.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Wow.
Well, there are people in the fandom who liked the end of that episode, so I'm guessing that people bid on it probably. But
I mean, it's donated. It sold for $555.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, it's a good charity.
It's a good cause, so it's,
Yeah.
I'm not mad about that.
I mean, I have my script from 2 years ago.
I don't think I bid on anything this year. I looked at it and the thing is that there's almost too many things in that auction. So I can't make I can't make up my mind. So I ended up bidding on nothing.
I mean,
So
it's like either the stuff that is for auction is stuff that I'm not interested in, or it's stuff that I would be interested in, but I'd probably like shell out $500+ for it, and I just can't do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how much I spent on the Robert Jordan signature.
That's okay. No, I no judgment. I just, I would love a Robert. Ooh,
We're going to get there.
I would love a Robert Jordan.
Robert again.
You can do it, Matt.
No. We're going to get there. We're not.
We're gonna do it.
We are pausing the podcast until we all get there.
A Robert Jordan signature would be nice, but I didn't I'm going to WatCon, so I didn't want to spend like $500 on his signature.
That's fair.
But that'd be cool though.
That's fair.
No judgment to anybody, honestly, who buys any of the stuff at the auction. It's cool.
Listen, that is your hard-earned money.
Oh yeah,
you do what you want with that money.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is my hard-earned credit card.
Exactly.
I had to apply.
It's my money, and I want it now.
Totally. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody but James would get that.
I
I
get
don't
that.
know how. J.G. Wentworth, it's my cash, and I want it now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I still don't see, but that's fine.
It's a sleazy American company. Like if you sue somebody and get a payout, typically you get payouts in like stages, but like their whole thing is, you can get all your money now with us, and it's like sleazy American. Just that's it. Sleazy American.
There you go. You don't need to expand any more on it. It's just that's it.
But it was. I also love the panels.
I was just about to ask,
Yes.
what are some of the panels that you guys were on?
Oh, I was on Igloo Bond Balefire, and then I did trivia, which I always do, and then episode 7 and 8. It was difficult being on episode 7 because I didn't like episode 7, and I just thought it was boring. But I also don't like Perrin, so...
Well, I mean, I feel like those two may or may not be related. They may or not be.
They may or may not be related, you're right.
Yes.
But episode 8 discussion was really, really good. Like, we had a very nuanced discussion about it. We had, like, a spoiler and a spoiler-free section. The last, like, 10 minutes. We extended the time of the panel because it went a little bit long. But we ended up talking, like, you know, about the racism of it all and about, like, how the queer character... how it doesn't look good to bookend the season with queer characters dying and queer characters of color dying. And,
Right.
I was going to say specifically queer characters of color dying.
Right. And how it's just like, you know, not a good look and people are allowed to be affected by it. And yeah.
Who else was on the panel with you?
For episode 8, it was Kathy Campbell of Dragonmount, Sulin, and Matt Hatch.
Oh, nice. I love Sulin.
Sulin's great. Sulin, I will put Sulin on as many panels as she would like to be on next year.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's great.
I always love seeing new people on panels. Like, gosh, there was an episode, maybe 1 and 2 or something. There was an episode panel where like this guy who I know is on Ali and Gus's server, like has never been on a panel before, and it was like his first panel. I was like, wow, this is a different perspective, and I found it interesting.
Was it Materials then?
It was Materials Dan, but let me tell you, and I don't know if Materials Dan listens to this podcast. If you do, you were great, and I will have you back next year. But let me tell you, the way Matt texted me, who the fuck is this white man?
I was like, did James have a stroke putting a cishet white man on a panel? Like, what is this?
That was exactly the text. Like I'm paraphrasing very little in my paraphrasing, but it was who the fuck is this white man on this panel? And I was just like,
Matt had an Alyssa Edwards moment and was like, what the fuck is going on in here on the stage?
I did.
And the worst is that, like, between you and I, we have such different reaction because, like, I was talking to Sulin and Materials then, like, I think before that panel. I think both of them were on that panel.
Yeah, they were there together
or something like that. Yeah. And like Material, like Dan, it was his first panel, so he was like not anxious, but I was just like,
he was a little anxious, which is totally cool.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's great that you're doing a panel. More people should do panel. Like it's because like one thing that I actually don't like in panels in this kind of thing is when someone on a panel says something and immediately in the audience someone raises their hand to say something. And I'm like, there's a time for question. You are watching a panel, maybe listen to what the people on the panel are saying. Right. If you have things you really want to say, sign up for panels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very much.
Well, I told him after, or I saw him in Materials Dan in the hallway, and I was like, you know, I appreciated your input, or I said something nice because, like, you know, I despite my best efforts, I am nice a lot of the time.
Oh, I see. You try not
despite
to be nice.
his best effort.
despite the cold and crusty, hateful exterior that I like to project, I do like letting people know that they've like contributed positively to an experience. So, but no, all the Wheel of Time panels I went to were really great. I went to a sci-fi panel and there were some issues.
Oh,
well, it was about.
You can speak about it. It's fine.
Okay. It was a cosmic horror panel, and I was really excited because I love cosmic horror. I'm a huge, anyone who listens to the podcast knows that I love weird, creepy shit.
yes.
One of the panelists opened their introduction by saying they actually didn't know what cosmic horror was and were a bit curious as to why they were on the panel. And I was like, oh.
What?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It was a thing. I was a little taken aback.
My.
I was like, this is a learning opportunity. This is fine.
Okay.
So I think it was because it was a last minute fill-in on the panel, but
Yeah, that could be.
That's just what I suspect. That's what I think I heard. I don't know.
Right.
That could make sense. That it was just a very interesting way of introducing yourself.
Why would you admit that?
That's a wild way of right. I would be like, if I went to like a Alice in Wonderland panel, I would be like, hey, I'm very vaguely familiar with Alice in Wonderland. I look forward to like contributing a little bit with what I can, but I look forward to listening to this wonderful panel of experts.
Yeah.
And also, I'd be doing like a quick Google search on like, what are some like very broad talking points that I can bring to the table here.
Yeah, what's a Jabberwocky?
Jabberwocky, yes.
There it is.
What is Cthulhu?
What is Cthulhu?
Hashtag hentai. That's all you need. That's all you need is to Google a little bit.
I don't think you need to get that deep into it. LOL.
I don't know that you should be telling people to Google hentai because they may be getting more.
Cthulhu hentai.
Still, I think they may be getting more than they bargained.
Yes. It was an interesting panel. There was one guy who mentioned like one of my favorite authors of all time. It's like, yes, so this guy, he does know what cosmic horror is. And and then there was a guy who like introduced himself as an author of all these cosmic horror lit RPGs, I think is the genre. And then there was an artist, and the artist lady said that she liked to use negative space in her paintings to convey the vastness of the universe. And the guy next to her was like, oh yeah, I totally get that. I use negative emotions in my writing all the time to convey fear. I was like, oh, baby boy, that's not the same kind of negative. That is two different things. But he was confident. He was confident and heterosexual, and that's all you need.
Good for him.
Well, cishet men usually are.
Yes.
Was he white?
They often are.
Yes.
Well, there you go. There you go. The trifecta.
He was so confidently heterosexual.
To have the confidence of a straight white man.
Oh my god. It's if only. If only. Oof, boy. My.
I'm so grateful for my panelists this year.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. The Wheel of Time track was great.
Actually, were you happy with how your track went? That's something I was curious about, James.
Oh yeah, very much so. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, loading, buffering. Like this year has been kind of wild for me. I just started a new job on like beginning of March, and it's been a great opportunity for me, but it's left like zero time to plan JordanCon, and that's like crucial JordanCon planning time. So some things I didn't get emails sent out to panelists until like literally the week before JordanCon. But they were all fantastic. They were all really, really great. I was really, really pleased with how everybody did. I was really happy with Sarah Nakamura. Something that we haven't mentioned yet was Sarah Nakamura kind of showed up. We got an email from her. JordanCon got an email from her like a week before JordanCon was like, she was like, hey, I think I can make it. Are there any panels that you guys would like me on? And we were like, here's panels we have openings on. And she was like, here, go ahead. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
So she did all of those, which was great. And she's lovely. She's wonderful. Hopefully we can get her as a guest soon.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, no, all of the panels were really well attended. My track received like really high score. We do track all of the feedback that people give in Sked, which is like the app that we use for the schedule. I don't know why it took me so long to get there. but out of 114 reviews, we have a 93.4% rating, which is really good.
Nice.
And we only got 2 negative reviews, and both of those were because we didn't have enough book content this year. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. Maybe come on a year where the show didn't just premiere.
Right.
And I saw there was some good, like, there was a few interesting book panel. Like, there was Matt had a Wheel of Time and horror panel, which I thought was great. I also really enjoyed the fascism in the Wheel of Time panel.
Interesting. Okay.
And there's the Wheel of Time Leatherbound project.
Yeah.
Which I understand people might not be interested in dropping $200 on a leatherbound book, but it was specifically about the books and about like the work that goes into it and some new art. Right. And it was really, really, I mean, I was going to buy the book anyway. I know, blah, blah, blah. But
I'm not going to buy the book, but I went to that panel and I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, like it was really interesting.
Yeah. There was a lot of like discussion about like reflection on the art and like the pieces that they wanted to do and like kind of the process of making that book and like it was interesting.
Yeah, no, like it was really, really interesting, and it was really cool to see like the process that there's like everybody knows. Well, not everybody. I don't know why I assume everybody knows. But one of my favorite part from The Eye of the World is the telling of Manetheren in Amon's Field, which is why I hated the song.
Yes.
And there's a art of that in the Dragonsteel book of the telling of Manetheren, of Moraine, like with her staff held above her, and like you can see Amon's Field, or King Amon and Manetheren, and fighting the Trollocs in the top, and you see all of the villagers in the Two Rivers in modern day in the foreground. And it's just really, it's a really cool, and you saw the process that went through that went through, which was the really cool part. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, like I think there's, I feel like there's so much value, and I wish people were able to sort of, you know, even if it's not something that you have like direct experience with, there's still so much value in still sitting and listening to something that you may not like you said, Camille, you weren't planning on buying the book, but you still sat and listened and you still thoroughly enjoyed it. Like it's, you know, I think people need to open themselves up a little bit more. You know, like people complaining about like, oh, there's not enough book content. Okay, well, find other things to like use that, and find other things to sort of experience to sort of fill that you know, that void.
And also, like, there's so many different tracks at JordanCon that if you don't find something in the Wheel of Time track, you could find something in other tracks that would be very interesting.
Exactly.
Like, that was my experience this year, because I was not particularly interested in, like, I think the only Wheel of Time show episode that I went to was the episode 8, because I wanted to see how it was going to be treated. The other ones, like, I didn't care about them, even for the episodes that I liked. I was like, no, thank you, I've already watched those episodes, I have a podcast about those episodes, I've talked about them, I don't care about them anymore.
Right.
But I'm like, there was a panel about cartoons, so we talked about like the like fun animated TV shows that we enjoy, and sometimes we were like, oh, what were you watching when you were a kid? And I found out that apparently Kodyoku was also watched by people outside of France, which I didn't know. There was some, I think my best panel, there was 2 on the rider tracks that I really liked. One was called The Echo Chamber Effect, How Our Biases Shape Our Worlds, which I thought was very interesting to like. There was like 5 writers on that panel, and it was very interesting to hear their thought about that and see what they could do to like ensure that there's not too much biases in their world. But there's always gonna, like, it's also like nice to see people being fully aware that they have biases. And it's okay, it's a normal thing. It's just, you have to be aware of those so that you can work with other people to help you fill the gaps that you have.
That you miss, You just have to know how to sort of balance out those biases.
Yeah.
It's not inherently a bad thing to have a bias. Everyone has one. It's just...
It's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people put a lot of judgment on biases, whereas biases are just like, I mean, to be fair, you should put some judgment on some biases that people aren't working on.
Yes, correct.
Some judgment is warranted and valid. But for the most part, like, everyone has biases.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're dumb if you don't think you do.
Yep.
It's basically just how we are raised in a specific society within a certain cultural background by a certain type of people, and all of those shape our way of viewing the world. And sometimes we are confronted with things that like are directly against that view of the world, and that's how you realize that, oh, maybe the thing you were thinking about was not entirely correct, and maybe you can adjust some things. And I know there's still some big biases that I have on certain topics that I'm working on, but it's going to take some time, and I'm still going to have sometimes some like weird shit that I'm going to say or this kind of thing. I'm not going to say them, but I'm going to think them. I'm aware enough to understand that the thing I'm thinking is not good to say, but I'm working on that.
Yeah.
Valid.
So yeah,
for sure.
One panel that I mean, it's not really a panel, but the thing that I was not expecting to enjoy, there's this orchestras that performs every year.
Yeah, that's relatively new, but yeah.
The Peachtree Symphonic Winds, and they were playing a lot of like movie music for like Star Wars, Star Trek, Captain America, and this kind of thing. And I used to play in an orchestra, not a symphonic one because I play strings and there's no strings in a symphonic wind orchestra.
Yes.
But it was so cool and it was so nice. And
that's very cool.
And they play a few songs that I was like, oh, I used to play that.
I know, you get kind of like...
Made me emotional.
Yeah, you get kind of like nostalgic. Like I never played in an orchestra. I would have loved to play in an orchestra, but I sometimes I'll hear like soundtrack music and like instrumental stuff, and it takes me back to being in band in high school and how much fun I still remember like the first time playing like the theme for Star Wars, or like the theme, like I remember when Lord of the Rings first came out and we played the theme for Fellowship of the Ring, and just like it's such a core memory for me. That is really cool. I didn't realize that was a thing that happened at JordanCon. That's very cool.
Yeah, I think it's been like a few years since they've been doing that, and it was the first time I was listening to them, and it was actually pretty decent. So I liked it. Yeah, they played music from Wicked.
Oh yeah, of course. So
like,
good,
oh.
So good. Oh my god.
Yeah. So that was cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, there was Gideon's and I. There was a panel that was literally just about the books from this year or the year before that you enjoyed. Like it's like page turners the year in books.
Nice.
So people on the panel shared some books that they enjoyed. I ended up with a bunch of recommendations, and then they also asked people, hey, do you have a recommendation in that specific genre or this kind of thing? And it was fun. We talked about books. We like books.
That's so cool. That's really nice. Yeah.
Especially like a lot of those panels for like the writer tracks was in a pretty big conference room, but a lot of the other panels were in smaller rooms, like basically half the size of the Wheel of Time tracks, which kind of gave more of a like friendly, convivial vibe.
Yeah. Like more communal.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was fun.
That's very cool. Yeah. It's less intimidating too, because I remember being in those big like the rooms for the Wheel of Time are big by like out of necessity because it's a big, it's big crowds, but it is overwhelming being there, and
it gets noisy too.
Yeah, and I mean I was on I think 2 panels when I went to JordanCon, and I just remember the first instance of being on a panel and looking out at everyone and being like, oh my god, this is so stressful. But yeah, like I imagine it would be, it's much more like cozy, kind of like then you just kind of feel like you're in a book club when it's a smaller, it's a smaller room and whatnot. So that's cool. Yeah. That's nice.
I didn't do any panels this year, mostly because like I figured out that I could make it to JordanCon literally a month before JordanCon.
Right.
And I mean, I guess I could have sent a message if you needed a field, but I also didn't want to go there. Sorry about that.
So, you're totally fine. Like you're allowed to enjoy the convention.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I think I'm gonna try to do a panel this year in JordanCon, but panels give me a lot of anxiety because you guys know because you're working with me on that podcast, but I like to be very prepared. I take a lot of notes and this kind of thing. And when there's a panel that I have to speak in front of a lot of people, it's gets even ramped up, and it's it's stressful.
That's valid.
Yeah,
sure.
It's so I do that sometimes because I also do like sharing my opinions, and I have opinions.
Opinions with a capital O?
Yes. But sometimes it's also nice to just have the freedom of hanging out with your friends. And I think, like, honestly, this JordanCon especially, like, my best moments are not even in panels. It's like I ended up spending most of the weekend with a small group from like Will Takes, and there are so a lot of them are also on the Queers of Time Discord. And I just we just had so much fun. It's just nice to hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
And sometimes laugh so much that you're falling from the table at the restaurant. I don't know. Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it happens. I mean, what are you gonna do, right? That's fun. Yeah. That's always a good feeling. Yeah.
It's like I was stressed out when JordanCon started, and I didn't want it to be over.
Yeah. Well, that's always the way of it. Like, I mean, traveling just period is so stressful.
I hate traveling.
It's so much. It's so much because like you're like getting ready to travel and like making sure you've packed everything, and then like airports are a whole other level of stress. It's just never-ending anxiety, and then it's a lot, and so sometimes you can't really like it takes a bit for your body to just sort of relax from the ordeal of traveling, and it takes you a minute to really start enjoying yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I was in the US for a business trip, which is why I couldn't make it to JordanCon. So I had a business trip right after JordanCon in LA, and I mean, I came back to the UK a bit more than a week ago, and it took me a full week to recover just from how tired I was. So it's a big deal traveling to the other side of the world.
Yeah,
for sure.
I assume we're talking about the travel.
Yeah.
Yes, I slept so much. I slept like 13 hours Sunday night after getting back home because I was sick, and JordanCon is always exciting, but I'm always tired afterwards. But adding being sick on top of that, I just slept so much. Also, I was stuck on the airplane with a bunch of rugby kids.
Oh.
I didn't even know they played rugby in the United States.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Should be outlawed.
I consider playing rugby in the US, and then I was like, if you break a leg, it's gonna cost a lot.
Yes.
Maybe do something a bit less violent. So I did handball instead.
Well, there you go. There you go. Where did you think that they played rugby?
In Europe.
Oh, I see.
In Europe, like in England.
Yeah.
There's a big cup in Europe, like in Le Tournoi Destination, the Six Nation Cup.
Yeah, but these kids, it was a boys' school from Edina of all places. Of course, it was fucking Edina. Of course, Edina would have a rugby team.
I don't know what that means.
And like fly off to Scotland.
It's the way you're saying. Of course, it's Edina. Like we would all get the context for what is an Edina?
Edina is a suburb of Minneapolis, and just picture the suburb in your metro area where you call them cake eaters.
I don't call anybody cake eaters.
It's like they're bougie white people.
I'm what? Cake eater?
Yeah, cake, like
bougie white people. Okay, that is more relatable.
I get that. Where does the term cake eater come from? Isn't eating cake a good thing?
Marie Antoinette let them eat cake.
Okay.
Look. Apparently,
we're doing a lot of work. We are doing a lot of work to make Edina bad.
Okay, so you know the movie Mighty Ducks?
No.
There's a 90s movie called Mighty Ducks about hockey, about kids hockey in Minnesota, and Edina is where it takes place, and they fight with like the bougie rich white kids and call them cake eaters after Marie Antoinette's "let them eat cake" comment, and that's how cake eaters entered the Minnesota zeitgeist. Opgeist?
Because, like, okay, I was like a normal child of, like a normal millennial child. I was very into the Mighty Ducks. That was very much a core memory for me. And so I understood that reference. I have no memory of them calling the other team cake eaters. That is something that is, I don't remember that at all.
It is just a very specific suburb where, like, they don't have a mall, they have a galleria.
Okay.
And
interesting.
Okay.
It's there's a restaurant, or there's a furniture store that is 5 floors, and on top is a rooftop reservation only dining area.
IKEA?
No, it's a reservation only.
Okay.
A fancy IKEA?
A fancy IKEA?
A fancy I don't know. It's
IKEA with like an accent on the A, like a fancy IKEA?
Yeah, I don't know how to like convey like how bougie and out of touch this place is.
No, it's okay. We have a place in the Seattle area called Bellevue, and
okay.
Well, actually, it would be Medina, which is where like Bill Gates lives.
It all comes back. It all comes back to that.
It all comes back to Bill Gates. It all comes back to that man.
But yes.
Well.
Anyways.
What an experience.
I don't even know why we are talking about rugby kids from a suburb of Minnesota.
because they were on my flight.
Ah.
And the one that was next to me had no emotional regulation. He watched a basketball game the whole time and would like smack the back of the seat when his player didn't make a basket.
Yeah.
Well, that's just that child needs to be put down.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, children should be outlawed. You know, it's
when you say child, you're talking about teenagers, right?
Yeah, he was like 16, 17, probably.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Like
a kid,
just hormonal and nasty, and no emotional regulation.
Hormonal and nasty.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all talked about when I was chatting with my grandmother.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. But. I love her, and I know that old people don't always get technology, but my dad FaceTimed her, gave her the FaceTime phone, and she put it up to her ear, and I got a full view of my grandmother's ear canal. So my dad has a great phone camera.
Perfect.
Well, that's nice.
There you go.
I'm glad that my grandmother's ear is clean and healthy looking.
Clean and healthy. Good. That's important.
Well, good for her.
Yeah. Not everyone can say that. So
anyway, back to
JordanCon. The horror panel was a highlight. I mean, I always love that panel, but it was an honor to like be on a panel with Sarah. Well, 2 panels actually, but one was just a horny panel. But the horror panel was really fun. It was her and Ola, who is James's friend, and also another author, and then Ray Nichols, who is another author, and it was just a fun time.
Nice. That's awesome. What is the horny panel?
Igloo Bond Balefire.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I should have known. Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, I had like half a second of a thought about which panel it was, because to me the Looney Theory panel ended up being very horny too this year.
Yeah.
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 But anyway.
Sarah Nakamura's a bully.
What? Stop it. No. End call.
Why?
Explain why.
It took her all of 2 seconds to learn how bad I am with remembering Wheel of Time names.
Well, you don't hide it. I know. It's a relatively known thing.
It's really out there.
Yeah.
And she was just ragging me with everybody else. So I'm like, great. I'm being ragged on by Sarah Nakamura too. As in addition, I'm being facetious. She's not actually a bully. She's a lovely human being. But like, it was funny. It was an honor to be ragged on by Sarah over my horrible ability to remember these people in this book series.
To get roasted.
Yes, getting roasted by Sarah Nakamura was not on my bingo list for JordanCon, and yet
it should have been. It should have been. You had 2 panels with her. It's like it was obvious it was going to happen.
No, she is lovely.
We know she likes a good roast.
Oh yeah, no, she's so funny.
She's fantastic.
Aww. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts?
It was fun. Can we be there all next year again?
I would love to.
I'm planning on it.
I would love to. Can you talk to your representatives and get people to act right?
Well, James and I probably, I don't know about James, but my representative's great. She's Elon Omar, so.
Oh, yes.
Mine are okay. Mine are both old white women, and honestly, they need to like probably step aside, but
Yeah.
We'll
see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. I would love to. It is not because I don't love you all.
I know.
And don't want to be in the same room as you all.
Why don't you just start a Canadian JordanCon?
Oh my god.
Your faith in me is encouraging, but wildly misplaced.
Cat's like, you're asking the wrong Canadian.
I do not have the...
Cat is like, I already have a wedding to organize. It's plenty enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do not have the time nor the attention span to do something like that.
That's fire. That's fair.
That's also, that's fire. Sure.
Oh,
yeah.
One more thing. I was technically on 3 panels. There was the JordanCon anthology author signing, which was like all the artists and authors who were there. I got to meet a lot of cool people. I sat next to this lady and chatted with her for a while. And then like someone like just approached her and asked her for a signature, and it was like, and she signed it Ariel Burgess. Like, oh, you're Ariel Burgess. You're like, you do the artworks.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I sat next to Ariel Burgess for a while without realizing that she was, that I just thought she was a writer, like just another writer, but nope.
It's just so funny because this would happen to you.
Yes.
It would be you that this would happen to.
No, listen, the person who sat on the other side of me is an acquisitions editor for a podcast that rejected me last year.
Ooh.
So it's all good. Like we chatted about it and we chatted about the process and everything. Like I got rejected by the editor-in-chief, which is like the best rejection you can get.
Listen, yeah.
But like, yes, these things happen to me. Like it's like, this is how I met Matt Hatch. I was like, oh, here's this friendly white man. I'll just chat with him a while, and it's like, and they're like, oh, you know Matt? I'm like, who's Matt? And it's like, you Matt Hatch. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Like, I'm just talking to this nice guy.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So the story of my life.
There we have it.
I mean, I can't blame you, because I've been like during JordanCon, I was hanging out with the same group of mostly with the same group of people, and all of them were on the We'll Take Discord, and we were chatting on that Discord. And after like 2 days of spending time with them, at some point, I finally realized that one of the person I was hanging out in person was also one of the person I was talking to in that Discord. I had not made the connection.
Oh my
and I'm
God.
like, I'm sorry, you're using on Discord the name of a fictional character and your picture is a cat. How am I supposed to know?
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I like cats.
Cats instead of children.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have actually like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 panels planned for next year.
Ooh.
Wow.
So I don't have to do much next year.
That's awesome.
Yay.
You're getting a jump on things.
Well, I mean, the best time to like for me to come up with panels is like immediately afterwards when I'm like, oh yeah, that would be fun.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Any hint?
Maria Simmons agreed to do an AMA.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's cool.
But yeah, she agreed to do an AMA.
Awesome.
So that's really cool. I'm going to do like a season 4 chopping block. So like what's going to change, because shit's going to change. I'm going to do a character spotlight on Suan, I think. Like book and show.
Aww.
If I can get panelists for it, I want to do a colorism panel.
You're making it so hard for me right now, James. You're making it so hard for me.
I want to do like the mythology of the Wheel of Time.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
Like all of the different myths and everything that went into it. I assume there's going to be stuff on the leather-bound edition. Costuming. I want to play Actually.
I've I've given the idea to like Rob, like Malcare Talks of doing a I'm actually panel at JordanCon. So if that happens, I'm maybe preparing it.
Just give me the slides. Because I don't think there's going to be much crossover between JordanCon and MalkyRieCon.
And I mean, there's going to be like 7 months or something like that, more than that. So I can help. Even if I don't make it to JordanCon, I can help with that.
Yeah, no, that would be good.
Nice.
But yeah, like a few other things, but yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, actually is just like, you have to get real specific. Because, yeah. I'm not that much of a nerd when it comes to the Wheel of Time.
I can find stuff.
Yeah. I can see you being good at that.
All right. Well, sounds like fun.
Yay.
Glad you guys had a good time.
We did have a good time.
We had a good time. It was too short.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah.
And there was no fire alarm this year.
Excellent.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, I do have to mention, like a final thought. I want to say that Matt went to bed every night at 9 p.m.
Yes.
I need everyone to know.
First of all, that is not true. I went up to my hotel at around 9:30 p.m. every night except for Saturday night, in which I was on Igloo Bond Balefire, so I went up to my room at 11 p.m. And let us not forget the crucial point of fact that I was sick. I was ill.
I know.
I was the Victorian waif that had been abandoned on the side of the street. Just wheezing like a Dickensian child character, like little
Matt was wasting away.
Little Timmy from the Christmas Carol. But I lived.
Well, that's good.
I did live.
You lived.
And Kim, let me mention that I went to, if we're talking about people's sleeping habits, I got up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed like a little squirrel in the spring on Sunday morning. And I come down to the dining area, and Camilla's there, looking like they just got curb stomped by death.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to sleep at 4 a.m.
Oh no! Let's be honest here, Camille. Let's be honest. You went to sleep at 6:30 a.m.
No, I went to sleep at 4 a.m. and then couldn't sleep for 2 hours, and then I threw up, and then I was able to sleep.
Goodness. I like that you were like, let me make this connection.
Let me make this clear.
And it's even wilder. It's even wilder.
It's just wild.
I had an insomnia at 4 a.m.
So I ask Camille how they're doing, and they just hold their hands up like a toddler asking to be picked up. It was a hug. It was I hugged them, but like that was the image was of a very tired, harassed toddler.
I have no memory of that.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
I can't say I'm surprised.
Listen, my Saturday evening was my best evening ever, okay? We danced, we had fun, and yeah.
Good. That's good.
You should have fun.
No judgment.
You should have fun.
No judgment.
You weren't having fun when I met you or when I saw you, but you know.
Yeah.
I say I had fun on Sunday. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Anyway, what a wonderful time it is to chat with you all.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of The Queers of Time. As always, you can find us on most social media platforms like Blue Sky and Tumblr, and we also have a Discord that you can join and hang out with us. Apparently, we're having a fun time and a good time. And if you want to support us...
Apparently they say, like, you're not involved. Anyway, continue.
Continuing, if you want to support us, we also have a Patreon. We always appreciate the support because making a podcast does have a cost. And also, if you like that podcast, share it with other people who may like this podcast and who haven't listened to us yet, because we're having a good time and a fun time, and you should listen to us. Anyway, bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.